In recent days, you may have seen a text screenshot from WhatsApp circulating around that reads, "Text me when you get home, XX." Over the first and second week of March 2021, the screenshot of this text became a widely shared trend on social media. Though most trends on social media are lighthearted and fleeting, some, like this trend, are tragic and will likely have lasting repercussions. What is up, Iwu crew? Today we are taking a look at a case that has only just made headlines in the past few weeks. One that is heart-wrenching and has already touched people across the world. On March 3rd, 2021, 33-year-old Sarah Everard was last seen walking through Clapham in South London, England. She was heading home to Brixton Hill after she had spent the evening visiting one of her friends in Clapham, which was only a 50-minute walk away from where she lived. She had left her friends around 9 p.m. and spoke to her boyfriend on the phone during her walk for about 14 minutes. Sarah chose to walk on brightly lit streets and stayed to well-traveled main roads. She went missing soon after. Originally from New York, Sarah worked as a marketing executive in London. Her family described her as kind and thoughtful, caring and dependable. Those close to Sarah said that she has always been an exceptional friend, dropping everything to be there to support her friends wherever they need her. She was reportedly set to start a new role at work as a senior marketing account manager, something she was greatly excited about. Her boyfriend called the police on March 4th to report that she was missing after she didn't make it home the night before. She was last seen wearing a green rain jacket, navy blue pants with a white diamond pattern, and orange and turquoise shoes. She had on a wide beanie and possibly green earphones. In response to her disappearance, the London police began an extensive search to find Sarah. The searches concentrated around the area where she was last seen, but there was no trace of her. Part of trying to find out what happened to Sarah involved gaining the public's help in locating her. One tweet from police to Londoners read, "Have you seen Sarah Everard?" While another admitted that law enforcement was getting increasingly concerned. This CCTV picture of her also began to circulate. It was this online exposure that first brought the public's attention to what would be a shocking and disturbing case. During the investigation, Sarah was spotted on the footage of a doorbell camera passing by around 9:28. Police realized that she went missing soon after this footage. Her family, including her father Jeremy, who is a professor at the University of York, and her mother Sue, are believed to have traveled from York to London to join Sarah's siblings James and Katie as they aided in search efforts. On March 7th, Scotland Yard's Specialist Crime Command began leading the investigation because of the complex nature of the probe into Sarah's disappearance. Around 750 houses in South London were searched in hopes of finding Sarah alive. The ponds in the area were also searched, as well as local drains, in case her body would be discovered there. The police received more than 120 calls from the public with tips about the case. Sniffer dogs were even brought in to search gardens along the streets, where the police believed Sarah had passed. All of these leads led nowhere. There was no sign of Sarah. At midnight on March 9th, almost 6 days after Sarah vanished, the police made 2 arrests. The first arrest was of a 48-year-old police constable named Wayne Cousins, who was suspected of kidnapping, though no further details were released at the time. and the second arrest was an unnamed woman in her 30s who was suspected of assisting an offender. The woman was later allegedly released on bail. It is suspected by various news outlets that the woman in question is Cousins' own wife, Elena Cousins, who is a 38-year-old Ukrainian and British scientist. But it is not clear what role, if any, that Elena may have played in Sarah's disappearance. It wasn't until March 10th that a body was eventually discovered in a wooded area in Ashfordtown in Kent, more than 50 miles from where Sarah was last seen walking. Using dental records to establish an identity, it was confirmed on Friday, March 12th, that the remains belonged to Sarah. This was a devastating blow to her family, but also the public, who had been holding out hope she would be recovered alive. Also on Friday, March 12th, Cousins was officially charged with Sarah's kidnapping and murder. The fact that Cousins is a police officer was called both shocking and deeply disturbing. A police statement which was released clarified that Cousins was not on duty at the time that Sarah went missing. The current working theory alleges that Cousins used his police ID to lure Sarah before he kidnapped her. It was also reported by the Metropolitan Police that on Thursday, March 11th, Cousins was taken to the hospital for a head wound, which was sustained while he was in custody. He was treated and then discharged. Again on March 12th, Cousins was brought to the hospital for the second time in 48 hours for a new injury to his head which was also sustained while in custody. Again, he was treated and released, with seemingly no further comment from authorities about the nature of the incidents. Cousins, who had been a part of the Metropolitan Police starting in 2018 and worked there for 2 years, was currently working in the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command, which is a unit that protects the UK's parliamentary estate, as well as the embassies based in London. Cousins' job specifically was as a uniformed patrol of the diplomatic premises. More about Cousins has since been released, as the Metropolitan Police have stated that it is in the interests of clarity, including a report from The Guardian, which detailed that Cousins has also been suspected of 2 separate incidents involving alleged indecent exposure. The Metropolitan Police confirmed that the alleged incidents took place at a London fast food restaurant 3 days before Sarah went missing. The allegations are currently being investigated by an independent office for police conduct. The post-mortem on Sarah's remains is currently underway, which will likely reveal her cause of death. At the news of her passing, shockwaves of outrage, horror, and frustration were felt across the UK. Part of the outrage was directed at the fact that the suspect worked as a police officer and was someone tasked with the protection of the UK citizens. As Sarah's case became more public and more information was released regarding her kidnapping and death, women across the UK began sharing to social media their own experiences of harassment or more disturbing incidents while walking on the streets. Despite COVID restrictions, a few hundred people gathered to mourn Sarah at a vigil. This vigil became an event called Reclaim These Streets, where women who have felt unsafe in public spaces alone gathered together in memorial for Sarah. Many of the women there carried signs which read, "She was just walking home," "Sisters United will never be defeated," and "We are the 97%," a comment referring to a survey that stated 97% of women in the UK between the ages of 18 to 24 have endured some form of harassment. The peaceful vigil purportedly turned violent when police and protesters collided, resulting in the arrest of 4 people. The handling of this incident has since been widely criticized. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson made a statement in response to the public's outcry to Sarah's kidnapping and murder, saying, "I will do everything I can to make sure the streets are safe and ensure women and girls do not face harassment or abuse." He has apparently since vowed that the government would more than double funding for neighborhood safety measures to $62 million. There are also plans to nurture a program where plainclothes police officers will be stationed around bars and nightclubs to keep an eye on anyone who might need help. Sarah's story soon became synonymous with many others, highlighting women's fear about being alone in public spaces. The social media outpour spread, and soon women across the world were sharing their own experiences and offering support to one another. They even began sharing precautions that they take when walking home, as well as their frustration at the necessity. Women walking home late at night often hold their keys between their fingers as a makeshift weapon, never wear headphones, and usually text their friends to check that they arrive safely. The screenshot of a text message reading, "Text me when you get home XX," became widely shared and went viral after originating on Lucy Mountain's Instagram. It has become a symbol for the ways that many women have unconsciously come to say goodbye to their friends. Rather than a simple bye, many people ask for reassurance that their friends and loved ones arrive safe, something that isn't a guarantee. For Sarah Everard, she never got to text that she got home safe. Due to the outpouring of public frustration and outrage, a police watchdog agency, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, will also be conducting an independent investigation, specifically looking into police actions which involve the suspect. Cousins has been remanded in custody and was scheduled to be brought before the Old Bailey, the Central Criminal Court, on Tuesday, March 16th, where the world watched intently to see the progression and outcome of the case. He reportedly appeared via video link from Belmarsh Prison, wearing a maroon sweatshirt and gray bottoms. He spoke only to confirm his name and date of birth, and appeared to rock to and fro while staring at the floor. His forehead featured a noticeable scab. The judge scheduled a plea hearing date for July 9th and a provisional trial for October 25th. Estimates claim that the provisional trial could last up to 4 weeks. The journey for Sarah's justice continues.